Hey, what's up guys, it's Matt from Adventures. I'm here with Elle and
we're going to Gozo for Valentine's Day.
This year Elle and I have brought Lily the Landy all the way back up to Gozo for one full weekend of awesome adventures where we're going to show you that you don't have to do the standard traditional stuff to celebrate Valentine's Day. Really, you can be adventurous and have just as much, if not more fun. Let's go! Elle and I love geocaching, and that is basically running around the world to find one of the over 3 million physical containers hidden in almost every country. In Malta we have about 500, and even though we live here, geocaching helps us to discover some amazing new places and create a new adventure every time we go out. And this is just one example of the awesome places geocaching can take you. Come on, just check out this awesome sea view. We came on this little coastal pod that we otherwise would pretty much never have walked on. So I'm gonna search for the cache now. I think it's on top of that rock. Yes! Woo! So this is it. This is pretty much what geocaching is all about. Finding these physical containers. They range all the way from this small to even giant treasure chests hidden in remote areas. So the next step is to open it up, get the logbook from inside and sign that with your geocaching username so everyone knows you've been here. We've done a little bit of a hike and it was really nice. It was awesome to just be in nature for a little bit. Now it's time for dinner, and Elle and I don't usually like to go to the expensive restaurants. We go to more of the local places, and here in Gozo we're going to a place called the Clubhouse, which is super cheap, serves ridiculously large portions, and I'm gonna have a burger that's probably gonna fill me up for the next 2 days. And one more thing is we didn't bother with fancy dresses and suits. I'm just in my hoodie and Elle's in her jacket, and we're just gonna go out and enjoy a meal in its purest form without getting fancy. Just enjoying each other's company and the tasty food we're gonna have. That burger was delicious. Now we've driven into the middle of nowhere with Lily. The stars out here are so bright, and we're probably gonna have a really awesome view when we wake up tomorrow morning.
Good night.
Good morning. This is what makes Lily so awesome. Look at the amazing places we can park, spend the night and wake up to such an epic view. Also, we have the water pump in the back that allows us to get ready and get washed and be all prepared for another full day of awesome adventures. Our campsite was right down there. Now we're at the top of the cliff. We drove all the way around, and our first geocache of the day should be right behind me in that cave. Finding this particular geocache took us quite a bit of time, but it was all worth it in the end. The cave looks beautiful, and the scenery you can see just outside makes it even more spectacular. Plus, one more find in our geocaching logbooks is always a positive. We wanted to spend the rest of our morning finding all the other caches in the area, which meant a lot of hiking that took us over the cliffs, past historic towers, and even down by the sea. 2 really cool caches down, and now we're at Dakhlet Orod Bay. This is another awesome spot in Gozo, very close to where we were. We were just camping right over there actually, but we've just crossed around the bay, and now we're gonna go for a little hike and look for this next cache.
Found it.
It's lunchtime and we've come to Lidl to get some really cheap food, and they also have a nice picnic area outside which we can just sit, chill, eat, and then carry on with our day. Lunch was simple and cheap, just how we like it, and after we ate we wanted to take a rest to get our energy back, since we were going to do something a little bit different and go to a free concert happening in the capital later that evening. So we just pulled over by the side of a random road, watched some videos together, and then enjoyed the sunset. That was a lot of caches and hiking for one day. Now we're tired, we're hungry, and it's dinner time. So of course we're parked in a parking lot and about to cook our first real meal in Lily the Landy. Here's my camping setup. I've just got my stove. We're gonna cook some pasta with some sauce. It should be a pretty easy meal to cook. But, of course, again, this is the first time we're cooking here. We do eventually want to get a nice gas cooker that lies a bit flatter than this, because this is kind of unstable. So, don't try this at home. Make sure if you're cooking, you're in a well-ventilated area and away from any flammable material. All these sheets and wooden table and whatever. Yeah, anyway, let's see how this tastes. It's Sunday, our last day here in Gozo, and we've set up the back of Lily the Landy so that our friends Bex and Mario can join us on another day of adventures. Today we're probably going to do stuff that's more traditional, the stuff that we like to do every time we come up to Gozo. Most of the time that involves food, so we started with a breakfast full of local bread, goat cheese and sun-dried tomatoes, and we knew that we were going to have to stop for ice cream at Shlendi and then some of the famous mashok pizza. Before that, we wanted to do some walking to compensate for all the calories we were going to eat, so we set off from where we parked Lily, and it turned out to be a really interesting and sketchy hike over the edge of some cliffs and even down a really dodgy wooden ladder. So you really don't need to spend loads of money or go to a fancy restaurant to enjoy Valentine's Day or any other special occasion. If that's the sort of thing you're into, then by all means go for it, but know that there are other awesome alternatives. Elle and I barely spent anything over the weekend, and we made an adventure custom to the things we love. Of course, you have to have your dessert before lunch, so that's why we're here at this gelateria in Schlendi. He has some of the best ice cream on the island. The prices are awesome and it's just so tasty. This is the last stop of the day. We're at Raml Al Hamra, one of Gozo's most unique beaches because of its dark red sand. And this is where we're gonna stop and eat our delicious mashok pizza.